Another game for the New York Knicks versus a top team in the NBA, and another blowout loss. I don't really know what to say at this point, except the New York Knicks have shown their true colors. They are not an elite basketball team. They are not a contender, and they are a pretender. They are now 0-6 versus the Cavs, versus the Celtics, and now the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it's not that you're losing these games by last-second shots or you're being beat on, final plays down the stretch. They're beating your ass. And they're doing it in like 10 minutes. The Knicks got dominated today, just like they got dominated on February 8th by the Celtics. Just like they got dominated on October 22nd by the Celtics. Just like you were dominated on January 10th by the Thunder. And just like you were dominated by the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. You were down by 27 at the half. I think it got up to 42 at one point. I think you were down at 42. You lost the first quarter 41-29. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I love the Knicks more than just about anything in the world. But today was a slap in the face of reality. A slap in the face of reality. The New York Knicks are an above-average basketball team that is really good at beating up on inferior opponents. And they are also really good at getting their ass beat by elite teams. And what's crazy is you continue to lose games against these teams in the same way. You get lit up from three like the sky on July 4th. It is 3-ball after 3-ball after 3-ball. Tonight, the New York Knicks allowed the Cleveland Cavaliers to shoot 19 of 37 from downtown. Better than 50%. Just like on opening night of the season, when you got your pants blown off by the Celtics, but just game one, right? It was just game one. Got to give them time. You allowed them to shoot 47.5% from three on 61 attempts. You didn't get dominated from three against Cleveland. You just blew a double-digit fourth quarter lead. And then you got dominated by OKC from three, dominated again by OKC from three, then dominated again by Boston from three, and then tonight you allowed them to shoot 19 of 37, 51%. So you allowed the Celtics to shoot 47%, the 47%, 49%. I mean, like, it comes down to this. The way the New York Knicks play basketball is not conducive to beating elite three-point shooting teams. And that is because of Tom Thibodeau. You got to pack the paint. You got to play drop coverage. You got to protect the rim. Nope, it didn't work. It works against the Bulls in overtime. I'd say it works versus the Pistons, but you don't beat them either. It works against the Wizards. It works against the Spurs. But when you play a team that has championship aspirations, they mop the floor with you. The reality is this team is going nowhere, except maybe losing in the first round. Maybe they get to win the first round. There's going to be major changes this offseason. I'm going to come out and predict it. I think it's the last season Tom Thibodeau will be the coach of the New York Knicks. I just think that's the way that it's going to work. What happened when the Knicks lost in round two to the Miami Heat? That Christmas, what'd they do? They traded R.J. Barrett. They traded Emmanuel quickly. Then you lose the next year in round two. Then what happens? You end up trading Julius Randle. What's going to happen this year, you think, if they lose in round two? You think Leon Rose is going to sit on his hands and say, hey, it's year one, guys. It's year one. I think World Wide West can bet, guys, give Tom Thibodeau some time. You lose the same way against the top teams because of one reason. Two reasons. You have two players, and I love Jalen Brunson more than anyone in the NBA. He's a terrible defender. You cannot win at a high level in this league if two of your starters are terrible defenders. And that is just who the Knicks are. A terrible defensive team on the perimeter and a team on offense that thrives on making tough shots. The game today was a difference in two styles. Layups, dunks, threes, ISO, posts up, mid-range contested shots. The Knicks are playing a brand of basketball that is not conducive to winning in the modern NBA. I don't really have much more to say. I have no confidence this team can win the title, and I did for a long time. I have no confidence that the Knicks can beat the Boston Celtics. I have no confidence the Knicks can beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. We have been slapped in the face by reality. The Knicks are pretenders. The Knicks unloaded the clip for Mikal Bridges. They paid OG Anunoby $200 million. He looks like a 27-year-old veteran out there. I get it. First game back. I don't know. Karl Anthony Towns is really good at scoring. He is awful at defense. He is not a winning player. And Precious Achiuwa shot 10 shots tonight. You are never going to win in this league at the highest level if you have two, not one, but two awful defenders and Tom Thibodeau is your head coach. You're just not. You're just not. And it hurts me to say that. It hurts me to say that. It does, because I believe in this team. I love this team. I bleed orange and blue just like you guys. I'm heartbroken. But the facts are the facts. The Knicks are pretenders. They beat up on bad teams, and they get beat up by good teams. Happens one time, coincidence. Happens two times, okay. What about three? What about four? What about five? What about six? I don't care what your record says you are. That's why I truly believe in process over results. And my eyes tell me the Knicks are not even close to competing with the Cavs or the Celtics or the Thunder. How the hell are you going to win the East? Cavs aren't slowing down. This is year one for them. Celtics aren't slowing down. This is year two for them. There will be major changes this offseason unless they get to the conference finals. There will be major, major changes. There's rumors about Giannis. I'll tell you this much. Everyone on the Knicks will be holding a I am for sale sign, except for Jalen Brunson, for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And if you think the Knicks wouldn't trade anybody for Giannis, wake up. Because you think Leon Rose is cool with this? You think Worldwide West is okay with that? Brock Aller, Gerson Rosas, you think they're all okay with that? No. We're still going to be here. We're still riding and dying with this team. Seems like we're going to die short of the goal. But we're still going to bleed orange and blue. And you can get your shirts today, real ones. If you're a real one, you're still riding with the Knicks, you don't have to be a simp for them. You don't have to lie to yourself and tell them they're better than you are. You deserve the truth. And that's why I'll never waver from telling you guys the truth of how I truly feel. This team is not for real. Mitchell Robinson coming back does not change anything. Josh Hart playing tonight, who I love, does not change anything. You were down by 42 to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are a really good regular season team. Man, chatsports.com/realknicks. Get your shirts today. If you get blown out by Boston, what are you going to do? We're just going to keep going? No changes? It's the worst loss of the season. It's the worst loss in 3 years. This team is not elite. This team is not great. This team, they're front runners. They are front runners. When it's going good, when you're playing bad teams, when the three ball's falling, when you're moving around the ball. In the NFL, it's a head coach, GM, quarterback league. That is what your team's identity is. In the NBA, you take the identity of your best players. And the Knicks' best players are lousy defenders. Karl Anthony Towns is the worst defending big man in the NBA. Jalen Brunson, not because of effort, is a lousy defender. And if your best two players cannot defend, you are not going to win in this league at a high level. You can get 39 wins and 18 losses, 19 losses. You can get to 50 wins. Clippers won 51 games last year. Nobody called that team great. Minnesota Timberwolves won 52 games last year. Nobody called that team great. Front running, soft, and shrivels in big-time games. Facts are the facts. The Knicks are pretenders. What's your one-word reaction to the loss? Mine is reality. Mine is reality. Mine is reality. And the reality is you're no good. Sucks, man. It fucking sucks. I don't even have the energy to come up here and rant. I'm truly upset. I'm truly upset. And I don't know how it gets better. Chris Duarte doesn't make this team better. TJ Warren doesn't make this team better. Mitchell Robinson, he'll help a little bit. You're not beating the Celtics. Josh Hart's going to help a lot. You already got your ass beat twice with Josh Hart against the Celtics. I don't think you're going to get to where you want to go with Tom Thibodeau as the head coach. And I've been a Tibbs supporter. I've been someone that has talked about Tibbs being a great coach. But if your identity as a head coach is being defensive-minded and your team is the worst defense in the NBA, why do you continue to roll with that? It's like if Andy Reid and the Chiefs could not score. Andy Reid is an offensive genius in football. The Chiefs aren't keeping Andy Reid if he can't score points. And just because, well, Marsh, who's it going to be? That doesn't mean anything. You could find someone. Does anyone even know the name of the Oklahoma City head coach? Joe Mazzulla, who was he before the coach of the Celtics? You go find somebody that gives your team an advantage on both sides of the ball. Right now, the Knicks don't have an advantage on defense. They're good on offense because of skill, not because of scheme. And they are regressing on offense. I saw a stat from James L. Edwards. I'll see if I can find it real quick. The Knicks have regressed as a three-point shooting team in efficiency and volume. And if you can't defend the three and you don't make the three, you're going to be making trips to Cancun in April. And right now, I don't know how the New York Knicks are going to get past the Boston Celtics. I don't. And if you fall to the 4th seed, how are you going to get past the Cleveland Cavaliers? Here's the tweet. The offense is the least of the Knicks' worries, but something to note. New York hasn't shot 30-plus threes and converted on at least 36% since January 29th. Since January 1st, the Knicks are 22nd in three-point percentage while ranking 29th in attempts. If you don't make threes and you don't take threes and you allow other teams to make and take, you will lose every time, especially against the top teams in the NBA. I don't have much more to say after that. Come out and play like your hair's on fire on Sunday. Sunday is a must-win game. Sunday versus Boston is must win. If you don't, it's going to get loud. It's going to get loud. I'm worried. I'm officially worried about this team. I don't believe in them to win a championship this year anymore. And that is very painful for me to say. We'll be back live on the channel on Sunday. Hopefully the Knicks aren't down by 30 at the start of the second quarter, like they were the first time they played Boston, the second time they played Boston, and the second time they played the Cavs. Can you compete? Can you show you deserve to be on the floor with this team? Can you show some pride? I go back to what Jalen Brunson said a couple of months ago. It means something to us to play New York Knicks basketball. Well, you're embarrassing all of us. Every person that put on a jersey tonight embarrassed Knicks fans. How are you going to respond? How are you going to respond? Last year's team would have fought back. They would have showed some grit. They would have showed some fight. See what this team's made of. It's easy to front run. It's easy to front run. Who are you when your back's on the wall and you got to pick yourself off the mat? Because right now, you've been blasted by the best teams. A fucking joke. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. If you disagree, we could talk over there. Hit me up at @MarshallGreen_.